Hi viewers, me and team here, and welcome back to some more Let's Play Genghis Khan 2 on the Mongol scenario. And here I'm trying to take my military and really abuse the numbers before anybody gets too big. And I start looking around here at the surrounding territories I can conquer. Really I can only hit 2, or my home territory, 7. 7 actually only has like a unit in it. It's really like they just took advantage of the fact that I didn't have any garrison there at all. And the AI does that sometimes, but it doesn't do that every time. And on average, as long as you're conquering territories reasonably quickly, you can leave territories undefended and just out-conquer the AI in terms of conquering rate. And so yeah, you come out ahead by leaving your territories defenseless frequently. Another funny thing is when the AI splits up like that, if they don't have like a big stack at home, or if you can convince them to run away, frequently stack one will leave first, and you can either capture or at least wind up deleting some of the AI's military without actually fighting it by jerking it around between territories. So that helps. So here I get into the next war, and I don't really see any good ambush opportunities here. So I just make sure that I don't get ambushed myself. And by doing that, and I just rotate, since I have such a numerical advantage in terms of troops, I just rotate which troops attack and then start demanding surrender of Jamuga. Now, he's actually one of the one of the starting options in this map. And he's one of the better leaders. He's a B politics rating, a lot of body points, he's young. I've actually started the Mongol conquest scenario here with him, and then gone the entire length, winning this map and then world conquest with just him. His politics and war are both B. I think he's B across the board. He's just an excellent leader. And his starting troops are a little bit better than Genghis Khan's also. So yeah, I recruited him. Now one thing to note is that if people are, if they were formerly kings of a territory, or rulers of any type of nation, they'll pretty much betray you at the first opportunity they have. So that's something you have to keep in mind. Really, the only way to circumvent that is to marry them off, or just simply not assign them as rulers of a territory. And in Jamuga's case, since he's a B war rating, and I don't have 4 good generals that are A or B war ratings yet, he's an instant upgrade for my military forces anyway. And yeah, he's one of the better people for me to marry my daughter off here to as well. So definitely a worthwhile pickup. And Territory 2 also had more resources in it, and so obviously when I invaded it, I was able to attain some of those resources, which will help me keep my conquest going, because you do have to give up gold just to make an attack. And then armies have carrying costs, 200 gold a turn if you have 20 units. So you really need to plan out for that, how you're going to come up with your resources. Now, this is a bum rush strategy to an extent, in that now that I have my forces, I just want to grab a bunch of territories, and then you get things produced by them that can be sold to the market. And so you start paying for yourself as you go, as long as you conquer enough territories. So as long as your setup is good enough, you can pretty much run a whole map. And well, if you set up well and you don't lose a lot of forces in individual battles. But most battles are pretty easy in this game. There's only a couple territories that are really challenging, or like Tibet or something, because there's it's a complete ambush surround of the leader. So on that particular map, it can be a little bit difficult to invade Tibet on the World Conquest map. So one of the things that you can do is try to make sure that when you do attack that, you're attacking like a minimal force there, so you don't get completely screwed, and then you can set up a counter ambush. You really don't want to attack like a 20-unit army in that territory if you can help it. I mean, it's still possible to win if you have a good leadership guy who can eat the ambush and then power through. So here again, really no good way to set up a counter ambush, so I just dogpile on the guy's secondary stack there. Genghis Khan, yeah, that's his name. when it's not Genghis Khan. It's like actually the dude's name before he was Genghis Khan. Anyway, Genghis Khan tried to bribe the guy to join over. Well, not bribe, but he demanded that one of my armies switch sides, but it was being led by my son, and they're immune to that. So then he surrendered because he's surrounded by 20 units. And his advisor, Fortu, here is really good. So I actually pick up Genghis Khan and his advisor, and then I'm just going to leave some cruddy guys behind so that I have the ability to pick up more talent. And there's one of the guys I actually dismissed earlier. I had a chance to recruit him again, but I dismissed him for a reason, so screw him. Let's check out the surrounding troops. And yeah, really nobody has more than like 4 to 6 mounted units for the most part in this map. So as long as I can match that and then just abuse the infantry paper army against the AI, it's pretty easy to grab land. And then I can have the land send resources, or as I mentioned earlier, they produce goods and you can sell those in the market for additional money to keep things going. And notice how nobody's invaded me as I left territories behind me completely defenseless repeatedly. Here, it's actually possible to set up an ambush. This is a hex map. It doesn't really look it, but well, it does look it, but it's not like really obvious. But anyway, it's actually possible to set up an ambush to the northeast there of the stack, and then bait their army to chase you through the ambush. But why? In this case, my stack 2 is so much better than the other guy's stack 2 that I can just take it head on and not bother. Yeah, see, like instant kill. So then I just move up and demand surrender again. Now, how many orders you can give per turn in these battles is dictated by your leader's leadership stat. So an A leadership will let you give 3 orders every turn. A C, you can get away with 2 like this. So it's not bad. As long as you have a C in a stat, you're usually okay. Leadership doesn't do a whole lot else, but that's a really important aspect when you're invading territories yourself. Yep, there's Yalu. So, yeah, he declares independence, and I'll check out his army there in a minute and see that he's nothing. So as I go down there, I'll just easily take him out. And yeah, you get executed for doing that to me, so really not a lot of different nations left on this map. Politics, I think I mentioned earlier in a different video, but politics, the better your politics rating, the less body points any action you perform on a given turn takes when you're on this screen. War affects your ability to train troops, and when you're fighting a battle, your troops will perform a little better. And you can also lead your army if you're in an individual battle and give like 1 unit a statistical boost for that battle. And then finally, charisma, in addition to keeping generals from revolting from you, it'll also affect their ability to make demands on other leaders, and it also affects leaders surrendering to you or not. So the better your charisma, the more readily they'll surrender or switch sides or whatever you're asking them to do. Alright, on this battlefield, setting up an ambush is very easy. You just plant some guys in the forest right to the east of their stack 1, and then move somebody to the northeast of him, and that'll draw stack 2 through the forest, and there's your ambush. It's kind of funny in this game how easy it is to bait the AI into offensive ambushes. Although I guess even in multiplayer, it wouldn't be all that easy to avoid them sometimes on some maps, but multiplayer would be a completely different ballgame for sure. Pretty much just, I think the bigger thing, even more so than these battles, would be the territory capturing. Because you couldn't just leave territories undefended. They just always take a pot shot with 1 unit and take the territory or whatever. So it'd be a cat and mouse game with spreading too thin versus not spreading too thin, and trying to pick up other people's stacks free of costs and all that, or relatively more like picking up their stacks on a Let's Play. So here I'll just spam surrender and until he gives in. And that'll pretty much take care of this video in terms of what I can comment on. So I'll go ahead and let it run out, and I'll see you guys in the next part. Team signing out.